This short video is going to talk about adjacent angles. The word adjacent means next to or beside. And so today we're going to be talking about angles that are adjacent. And so this means that the angles, two angles, are going to have a common side and a common vertex. So here is what an adjacent angle might look like. Okay, there's one angle, and then if I add one more line, we would say that, let's name this. Okay, so we could say angle ABD is adjacent to, and I'm going to highlight this so you can see, angle ABD is adjacent to angle DBC. Do you see how those two angles are side by side? They have a common side. Okay, BD is their common side, and they have a common vertex. B is their common vertex. So today we're going to talk about adjacent angles and finding angle measures. Here we can see two examples of adjacent angles, right? Let's deal with this one first. So we see that this angle in red is adjacent to this angle in blue. Okay, we see that the red angle's measure is 39 degrees and the blue angle's measure is 37 degrees. So we are given two parts, right? And we need to find the whole angle measure. So they want to know what the measure of angle A would be, and they're showing us right here. What would the measure of A be? Well, if I added 39 degrees and 37 degrees, that would give me the measure of the whole angle. So angle A in this case would be 76 degrees. Let's look at this next one. If the red angle is 45 degrees and the blue angle is 33 degrees, and they're asking me to find the measure of angle A, that's the whole measure, we would need to add the two parts together to find the whole. So the two parts would be one angle's measure is 45 degrees, the other one is 33 degrees. If I add those together, I get 78 degrees. So the measure of angle A right here would be 78 degrees. Now these types of adjacent angle problems you'll see, they are giving you the whole angle measure. So for example, this one says angle ABD is 60 degrees. Well, let's trace ABD so we can see it. So angle ABD, this whole angle is 60 degrees. Okay, so we know the whole, and we also know one part. The other part is we know is ABC. ABC is 28 degrees. So we know the whole and we know one part. Can we figure out the other part? Well, yes, we can, because if we take the whole and we subtract that one part, that will give us the missing angle or the missing part. So in this case, angle CBD's measure would be 32. And you can always double check yourself, right? You could say, okay, now if this is correct, 32 plus 28 would be 60. And it is 60. Here's another example of adjacent angles where they give you the whole angle measure and one part. You have to find out the missing part. So in this case, the whole is 120. The one part you have is 89 degrees. So if you subtract those two amounts, that will give you the missing part. So 31 degrees would be the missing measurement for angle A. Let's double check it because 31 plus 89 needs to equal 120. So let's double check ourselves. 120 degrees. So that is indeed the missing angle measure, 31 degrees. The last type of adjacent angle problems you'll deal with is one where they give you a right angle, and we know it's a right angle because of that little box in the corner. So they give you a right angle and one of the parts. You have to find the missing angle part. Well, this requires you using your background knowledge because you know that the measure of a right angle is 90 degrees. So you actually know the whole, right? This whole angle, angle KLM, is 90 degrees. You know the whole and one part. So can you find the missing part? You can. Very similar to the other problem we just did. So 90 minus 10 would be 80 degrees. So angle KLN would be 80 degrees. 10 plus 80 is 90. So this would complete that angle. Let's look at this next one. We know because of our background knowledge and right angles that angle OPQ is 90 degrees. They give us one of the angles, so we know that OPR is 31 degrees. We need to figure out what RPQ is. Well, we know the whole is 90, and we know that the one part they gave us is 31 degrees. So if we subtract, that would give us 59 degrees for the missing angle. Again, you can check yourself. 59 plus 31, does that equal 90? It sure does. So that missing angle is correct. Let's try this last one. We know that angle IJK is 90 degrees. We know because it has that little box in the corner, and that tells us that it is a right angle. We know that angle IJL is 82 degrees. So if we take the whole and subtract the part we know, that will tell us the missing angle measure, and it's a little one. Angle LJK would be 9 degrees. And again, we can double check. 82 plus 9, does that equal 90? It does. So that's the missing angle measure.